What's up, brothers and sisters? Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Another ripper in the market, but with the caveat today. So let's dig into what's happening in the stock market indexes. Even though we had a flat day in the QQQ and the NASDAQ, we had a big ripper in the IWM, and the IWM is giving us a signal that the rotation is here and that, small cap nation is about to commence. Small cap summer is starting up. The IWM has been trailing the QQQs for a while, and we finally took out this big, long range here. And the thing is, we did it with gusto. The last 2 days have been really, since, the CPI came out, you had the big day, big gap up today, 2% days, back-to-back 2%, 3% days. That's a good indication. And you can feel it in the air. The big story, besides the IWM ripping, is the monster run in Ethereum, which is, basically broken out or at all-time highs minus a few points here or there. And so we have this two things going, right? A shift from the large caps that definitely need a rest into the more risky assets in the IWM. And then the big story of the day is, of course, I shouldn't say big story of the day, the big story of the month is the monster run in Ethereum that really kind of started around here. When the Trumpsters started getting into the stablecoin business, and then, Tom Lee came in and started doing the Bitcoin treasury thing. This really was in hindsight was a sign, right, that something was in the works here. And Ethereum had been trailing Bitcoin for maybe 3, 4, 5 years, right? So it really has been kind of just hanging out for many, many years. So here we are. Now it's a little bit extended, so, it's going to need some tapbacks and stuff like that. But I think those are the big stories. So today's watch list, I personally think, maybe we got to let some of these bigger names rest a little bit. You saw down days in PLTR, weakness in NVIDIA, not a lot. It's not like anything alarming, I wouldn't say, right? But Netflix had a, decent stick down. Oracle, right, down 4%. So, you had a little bit of weakness in this stuff, and then you kind of had the bonanza like in some of this other stuff, right? That mid-cap to small caps type of thing. So let's dig into the watch list. I've got some names here that I think are really ripe for tomorrow. OUST, love this name. Probably the swing entry was, maybe down here. But I think it can be day traded as you kind of got a flat top breakout over here. This was its earnings. It reversed on its earnings days. And this has been happening a lot, guys. Stocks, the market is so strong that when the stocks reverse on the earnings, they just marinate for a few days and then they rip it back. I've seen this now 100 times in this earnings season. That's a setup. Guys, patterns are all the same, but there's small shifts in, how they start to form. So like the triple tap breakout has been around forever, but what happens before that, right, can shift sometimes. And that's it's something that's happening right now. I thought the CHEWY looked really good today. CHEWY looked really, really good today. You kind of compressed here for a little bit, took a big stick out of this, and 8% uptick in volume. That's really all you can ask for, right? So let's add this one to the watch list here. AEO, multiple tests at this kind of 1350 to 14 zone. You're right at the 200-day moving average. I think, if you can get over that, we can go. And it's got decent enough range. You have to trade a little bit of size into it, but it's a little bit of a grinder. But, it's got good range on it. Add that. I'm wondering if there's baloney ponies. So Chinese stocks were taken off today, with Baba and Billy. And I've been staring at this baloney pony for a while here. And just I got, some alerts set and stuff. But I think maybe tomorrow's the day. 'Tis the season on this thing. Not like the sexiest setup, but like it's this is the time to do this type of play. Peloton also, like, let's watch this one for a week open. You're starting to come out of range here. I would suspect that we got room into this 11 spot. RGTI had earnings out. Nice end of day ramp here. That's what I'm really interested in. very herky-jerky in the morning, but end of day ramp here. Let's add this one, 92 million shares in volume. It's a big turd, probably a zero the company, but who cares in today's market. You got setting here. You got the rounding bottom at the 50. You got trend line break right here. Very tight risk on this you can do. And that should get this thing back into the 30, 31 range, and then we'll see what's up. Like I said, in this market, anything can happen, right? Beatdown name was $400. It's the time to do something like this. Ethereum, we already looked at. You can't chase this up now. Frankly, if it has like a big, if you see like overnight, like a 10% type of move or something, I would actually consider taking it short for a couple days, back down to the 9 EMA or like a retest or something. Just a quick counter trender, but I'm watching it because it's a state of risk. It's a state of speculation in the air. And, also I like to trade cryptos and stuff too, right? So, that's also fun. So I'm always watching this, but I think, if we get like one big blow off, we're going to have to take it down. Trend line break right here. You're going to need to hit it on dips. It actually works a little bit better. Was getting faded on strength today. Any kind of dip off like this, I think we want to start looking for the potential rebound. Out of the big caps, Shop, MU, both got like some rest days here at high. So you could take something like that. I don't know why this thing got dusted 11%. It would have been nicer if it just tight. It was really loose. But, a little bit of weakness on this again. I think it actually gets bought up tomorrow. Into that 20. This was just its second test, so what you really need is for it to kind of come down here and then do the third test, right? And then I think this thing's going to be cooking and booking, baby. So that's the list. I got a whole big, long one here, too. I'll keep it in the chat room if anybody needs it. Guys, we've been having a lot of fun at Bulls on Wall Street chat room. Come and do it. We got free trial. I got boot camp class starting in a couple days. My 60-day boot camp, all that kind of fun stuff. If you're an old student, we have lifetime access. You can retake my class as many times you want. I got some good additions. We got a new trading dashboard. We've got cool stuff that we're doing for all sorts of stuff, a new back-end LMS system on school, all the goodies. So come back in class. I love you guys. Peace.